Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the GeoGuessr World League. It's been a long way, but yeah, the league is finally here, and I'm your host Ziggy, and I'm joined by a very familiar face for you guys, which is Gelotris.
Might be. Hello. Welcome,
Hello.
everyone.
Yeah, welcome in. Where to even start? I mean, we have 4 amazing games today for you guys in the first section, and then we're gonna have 4 more games later on. But I think we should just start explaining how the game works, what game modes we will play, and also the schedule, and yeah, the point system, everything around that. Gelotris, why don't you start up?
Of course, we start off with how it works. If it's your first time watching competitive GeoGuessr, this is how a duel works. You spawn somewhere in the world. It can be anywhere. Look around. You have a panel. It's either a still image, or you can move around, or you can look around. And then, depending on how close you guess to the actual location, there will be a difference. And these points will be the damage you cause to your enemy.
Exactly, and I'm gonna go a bit more in detail about the game modes. There's actually 3 different game modes which will always be played in the same order. We always start off with moving, which gives the players the ability to move around freely, look at signs, look at the landscape. The only restriction is the 1-minute time limit, and then they have to guess based off that. The second game mode will be no move, which is you can look around but you cannot move. And then we end off on the most hype game mode, in my opinion, NMPZ, which is just a still image, as Gelotris just said. And they just have to guess based off that, no additional clues.
That is everyone's favorite, isn't it? NMPZ.
Yeah,
Very hype. You don't get a lot of clues, just a still image. Can be very random, but that's also the mode where you can really show off how good you are.
Yeah, exactly. And let's take a look at our schedule for today. We have 4 games which will be broadcasted. We are starting off with Eamonn taking on the World Cup champion Blinky. In his first matchup will be, yeah, it's not the easiest start for Eamonn, but we'll see how he does. Then we have Clement against Feneb, which are both new to this kind of World Cup thing. Both haven't played on the stage, so that will be definitely interesting to see. Then we have a fan favorite, Zigzag, taking on Katsu. Definitely want an NMPZ game there. And then we end on Consus versus Sheena. So, yeah, very experienced players there.
Yeah, I mean,
and
we
we
also
also
have the world champion and the former world champion, both to watch today.
Exactly. There's also other games going on, which will be played simultaneously. We will update you guys on those matches when there's going to be results. But yeah, those matches will be off screen. We're only going to focus on the 4 games in the top and take it from there. Yeah, these are all the players. I'm not gonna say every single name. You can take a look because it's 40 players from every region. We have a lot of continents, a lot of countries, a lot of Americans, obviously. But yeah, anything you want to say about any player, Gelotris, in specific?
Yeah, I mean, we got a couple new names here on the board. Some of them you've seen in qualifier games in the World Cup itself. But I'm especially hyped to see the Thailand representation, which we didn't have before. And yeah, also Finland on the board now.
True. Yeah, the standings are obviously new. This is the first day, so Lenly is technically in first right now. We'll see how that ends up. Yeah, but I'm very excited to see everyone play. So yeah, our first game will be coming up soon. Eamonn against Blinky. What is your prediction, especially for the moving game? How do you predict it to go?
Yeah, I mean, Eamonn playing from New Zealand can be a bit difficult with the internet problems we sometimes hear them complain about. But still, I mean, Eamonn, you see him playing moving on a lot of duels and tournaments, and he still managed to do well. But he has to be extra locked in against Blinky, who is known as the best moving player in the world.
Yeah, against anyone else, he might have even an advantage in moving, but against Blinky, it's very safe to say nobody really has an advantage against him on that mode. That is for sure. But he can only surprise us. I mean, he's not expected to win it, and from there, anything is possible anyway. And no move in NMPZ. I think they're very close skill-wise, especially Eamonn has made a huge step. I mean, he gained like 2k elo now, which is a huge achievement. And yeah.
Yeah, and I would say in the last World Cup, Eamonn also overperformed. He was doing way better than a lot of people predicted him to. So yeah, that's a very good sign. And yeah, he didn't stop playing. Still on in shape, I would say. Wasn't too long ago, the last World Cup. So yeah. He can pull
the
something
players
here.
Always on the grind. The grind never stops.
It never does. Always new coverage coming out every day. So you pretty much have to learn new stuff every day. And if you do so, and if Eamonn did so, he will stand a good chance against Blinky, the World Cup champion.
Right.
I think we are getting ready, or the players are getting ready right now. So they will play a remote. Everyone will be playing from home.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how that turns out. I mean, for some players, it's probably an advantage because they don't like to be on camera. For some people, maybe they want the spotlight and play with the camera or something. Maybe that's their, like, how to stay focused. But each to their own, pretty much.
How is it for you, Ziggy, when you play on camera versus off camera? I mean, you did do it on stream. Does it affect you?
I mean, I think it's a difference between being on stream and being in a different place. I remember when I played in Paris in the Team World Cup, it was kind of weird because you're like, there's people sitting and people can look over your shoulder even and see what you're doing. So yeah, I was kind of nervous, even though it was just like a very small event in terms of like the teams. But I still had a lot of fun, and that's kind of what it's all about, having fun. I'm pretty sure these players will all have fun.
Yeah, I mean, on LAN events, it's like almost always just the very first game or second game, and then you're used to it already. And I mean, today we have some experienced players who have played on LAN, and that shouldn't cause an issue for them. You have seen him playing before, we know him well. Blinky is just a different breed. He is super good at every mode. He used to be only known to be good at moving only, but yeah, not anymore.
Alright, we have a game. It's not Blinky against Eamonn because Blinky's having some technical issues. We're gonna jump right into Kirania versus Sheena, and we're already on round 5 and moving. 3x damage, and Sheena is down 3.5k health. Yeah.
Unfortunately, we can't say what happened here. We only see the same as you guys. But we will get a game summary later on, maybe what happened there. But yeah, they are in round 5, 3x damage now.
And this looks like a very rural round. I don't think there will be any signage here. Looks like a Northern Colo to me, or maybe Mexico. But I am not convinced yet. Okay, now Kirania got into a main road, which is always very good. Maybe you can still find something.
Yeah, we don't have guesses down on either side, right? I mean,
no.
Should be Mexico.
But it looks like a Mexican sign, yeah.
Veracruz and Tabasco, not too far from each other.
But that is big damage, and Sheena goes down to 800 health. Round 7 could already... Round 6, sorry, I can't count.
Round 6, 3.5x damage, so the multipliers goes on and on. The further you go into the rounds in a duel. We have Senegal here.
Yeah, driving right with French road lines and this African landscape is Senegal, and we have an insta-guess by Kirania, maybe knows the road, very noble country.
Yeah, but we have them on the same road, I think, more or less, yeah. Even though we are on 3.5x damage, not much happening here.
Nope, nothing big. And for Sheena, it's kind of... He can be like, okay, I can still win because of the multipliers. So maybe Kirania is even more nervous because he's so far ahead, but he can still lose everything in one round.
Yeah, both go into the map immediately.
Yeah, we have a road number 3. We have these long outer dashed lines, which are a good clue for Norway with this general landscape. And Sheena's just bonking it down. And it looks like they both found the road.
Yeah. Can't tell how far they are from... No, they're just right on each other.
They are
with their guesses.
No points.
No points.
0.
Happening.
Sheena needs something.
Is this? Okay, we have white
Insta
backpack
guess.
because I thought it's some island first, like Jersey or Isle of Man, but it is Ireland.
Yeah, Irish
Kirania
language.
just putting the pressure on him now, knowing he has the lead. And Sheena
Okay.
stays alive.
Even does a little bit of damage. Nothing too crazy though. And going in the penultimate round. Only 2 rounds left. And we're gonna be in Sweden with that chevron being the Swedish flag, kinda.
Yeah, back to the Nordics in Sweden this time.
There's a national park name, maybe knowable, but I think they will both look for bus signs because they are very, very helpful in moving, because they are region specific. And so I can imagine both of them kind of trying to find one, and Sheena found one. And he guesses. And I don't think it's an obvious guess. I don't know this one.
I think it's in the Uppsala region.
I found it down to Gävle. Oh, it was.
It was indeed. That is gonna be big points for Sheena.
Big points. Actually, Kirania almost saw the town name in it. That was a huge Swedish city, so he definitely would have known it.
Yeah,
so if he had like 5 seconds more, he would have found it as well.
Yeah, I think it was a matter of like 1 or 2 seconds. So good for Sheena putting the pressure on there.
And the last round, not the biggest country. Sheena will not be very happy. He has to be on the spot, and Kirania has to be making a very bad guess. Yeah. That will not be enough damage, sadly. Round limited.
Yeah,
The game ends after 10 rounds. That's in every mode, not only moving, but every other mode.
Yeah, did we mention that? The round limit? I mean, for those who don't know, every game has 10 rounds. And after these 10 rounds, if you don't get to eliminate the opponent, it's based on health difference, and the player with more health just wins automatically. In this case, it was Kirania.
Well, we didn't see the whole match, but what did you think so far of the match in the later rounds? It was very close at the end, almost a comeback.
Yeah, I feel like there was we missed the most important round or rounds because tuning in Kirania was already in a big lead here, and that did also lead to the win, I would say, because Sheena did strike back with 2 very good guesses.
Yeah, we sadly don't know. Maybe Kirania just had one very good round and that made like 3k damage, and Sheena was dominating the rest of the rounds. We don't know. But yeah, congrats to Kirania taking the first win. That's already biggest weight off his shoulders, because winning the first game, then you're kind of like, yeah, okay, I'm locked in.
Yeah, and on the first game that we actually did want to cast, very hard to say Western Australia instead of Va.
And Blinky is actually in Alice Springs right now, but I think that would be Black Car, and I didn't see the copyright, and it looks like 24, so we could see huge damage in round 1.
Yeah,
I think Eamonn is on it.
Yeah.
At least I think it's Western Australia, sorry.
Yeah. It was
And
around
he
top
is.
price, yeah. Also pretty recent coverage, not been there out for too long.
Yeah, like month and a half. So maybe Blinky hasn't caught up on the new coverage in Australia. Australia, one of the countries that has gotten the most new coverage, new areas unlocked.
Yeah, there's
Very
a lot.
interesting for us players, obviously.
And
we have a flag.
We are in Malaysia with that flag, and it's pretty mountainous, which makes you think more in the northern half of the country, but obviously you can get mountains everywhere.
Yeah, Blinky is considering going not mainland Malaysia, but
True. I didn't even consider Borneo.
there are hills where he is guessing. It is a very risky guess, though. And if he is wrong, we might see a 2-rounder even. Now he's even thinking... Oh, Eamonn is also thinking about going Sabah.
Yeah, we have a pretty big river along the road, which you don't see too often in Borneo, I feel like.
Yeah, there are some rivers, but usually they're next to the main road. Eamonn is staying. He is not getting gaslit.
And it was indeed mainland.
And that is almost enough to knock Blinky out in 2 rounds.
Blinky really has to lock in here. 363 health on the 3rd round. And we are in Japan.
Yeah, this low cam coverage is Japan or Switzerland, and with this architecture, obviously gonna be Japan. Question is, how do you region guess Japan if the poles are not helpful, like in this location?
Yeah, you can use poles to region guess in this country. We have some, but it's a bit too small for me to really make use of them. We have a tsunami warning sign, which doesn't help too much because Japan is surrounded all by water. Yeah, they're really looking around trying to find
Blinky
the right
again with a
clue to
risky
use.
guess. Blinky is doing risky guess after risky guess, but at this point he kind of has to make commitments because he's so far behind. So let's see, this could be the end of the game.
Ooh, he's getting very close. Yeah.
Very close.
The Kyushu region of Japan.
We'll definitely see a back and forth here. One player is always very, very close. Which is a good sign. That means that the locations are gettable.
Yeah.
And here we have the most unregion guessable country of them all. We have Poland with the Polish pole there.
Yeah, I cannot disagree with that statement. Poland definitely is one of the countries that is the hardest to region guess.
Especially this round.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything really usable here. We don't have any hills. No architecture that really looks like anything.
I mean, we have a lot of these pines. I don't know if you can use them. Maybe it's a bit more... No, it's more west. I was about to say
Maybe
more
more west. It kind of is north. More than half.
Yeah.
Blinky is lucky in getting closer by just clicking the middle and praying. Eamonn actually trying to close out the game there. Makes sense actually to go for a bit of a crazy, I guess, in Poland, just to have the chance to win.
Yeah, and this looks very much like New England to me with these rock walls along the road, which makes you think maybe around Connecticut, Massachusetts.
Yeah, I
or
think
any of
I
those
agree with
surroundings.
Connecticut, especially with the white plate. It looks like a very nondescript plate.
Yeah, if we were closer to it, if there's a red tint in it, that's a good clue for Massachusetts, but you can see it here, and it was in New Hampshire.
Blinky, once again, hanging on for dear life, and at this point, anything is possible because the multipliers have reached a level where it is dangerous for Eamonn.
Hoo-hoo, and we
Speaking
have
of new
Oman.
coverage, we have the Google car that is used in Oman. The cable being on the left side is a very good indicator. It's not in the entire country, but let's see who learned Oman already.
I mean, Eamonn was inspecting the car, looking at the cable, looking all around, searching for scratches or anything you can use to region guess those countries where you have a certain Google car.
Yeah, Blinky again going for the most risky guess possible, going max west.
Definitely.
There's coverage there, so he definitely has looked at Oman before.
I mean, to be fair, it looks very, very empty. You don't have anything around on this location. So they both consider it to be more inland because most of the north is a bit more urban.
And Eamonn is hedging a bit more. He was also going very west, and now he's hedging.
I mean,
He strikes again.
what
The
do you do against
Blinkster.
that? A cheeky little 4999 by Blinky. Almost 5k in that.
And after 2 rounds, he had 363 health, and now Eamonn is almost down to the same amount.
Yeah.
But we have a very rural round with a black car. I think Bulgaria is the most sensible guess.
Yeah, you have the summer coverage.
I think Blinky might know the combination of car and season here, because he's committing very hard towards the north.
Which is kind of
Interesting
risky
with
because
the-
that's a bit more flat and this looks a
Yeah,
bit
it doesn't
more
look very north to me.
mountainous.
But
That's enough.
Blinky, he takes it. Eamonn is gonna
Wow.
not be very happy about the game because
Yeah.
if the multipliers are anything else, Eamonn takes that game in 2 or 3 rounds. But wow, Blinky hanging
Yeah.
on and showing off his knowledge in all the rounds that are to come. Just was warming up in the first 2 rounds and then really showed up. I mean, the Japan guess was crazy, the Oman guess was crazy, and the Bulgaria guess I would never guess there personally.
Yeah, Blinky definitely kept his cool here, being this far down in health and still locking in.
Yeah, never gave up, and that means Blinky and Feneb are both having 3 points, sharing the top spot for now.
Yeah.
Envision.
Blinky versus Eamonn, the game is done. What are your thoughts about
I mean, honestly,
this
a
game?
roller coaster. I mean, Eamonn was definitely hanging in there for moving, and then he took a very risky decision in Argentina to just insta-guess, and Blinky found a sign, and Blinky with a sign is GG. That's what we all know, or Blinky with a road angle in Oman is GG, as we saw.
Yeah, and Blinky is definitely also the type of player who isn't afraid of his health being this low. He's still committed to his playstyle of just getting, even if it's very risky. I mean, the Oman guess was as south as it can go pretty much. On the Malaysia round, he did commit to go Borneo, even though it looked a bit more like mainland. He maybe saw something there. But then the next round, Japan, he went to the maximum amount, like south he could go, if you rule out Okinawa. On
He
mainland,
kept it at a
least.
maximum. He sent it every
He's
single time. and
always full sending it, and yeah,
We will skip
this
a
is
break.
how he turned
The
it
next
around.
game will start soon. So we can check
Okay,
its schedule.
I just heard that we are skipping the break for now because we can be on time for the game from Clement against Feneb. So yeah, we're gonna stay here and the game will start any second. But maybe you should take a quick introduction for Clement and Feneb. Do you have anything about these 2 players that are kind of new, maybe for the viewers?
Yes, especially because they are more new to the scene. I would say this is the game I'm most interested in today because I don't really know a lot about them. I know Feneb is very good at moving. I know Clement plays a lot of competitive GeoGuessr. And that's pretty much all I know about them.
Yeah, Clement is the type of guy to queue 4 NMPZ games at a time in comp and somehow do well in all of them, kind of like Bad at GeoGuessr does, or any of these NMPZ specialists that just need 5 seconds per round, even an NMPZ on hard rounds. And Feneb really the opposite, really. Taking time, likes moving, probably wants to end the game in 2-0 because in NMPZ I definitely see Clement as favored, but I definitely think Feneb can take a moving game and then in no move anything can happen between the top players,
Yeah,
as we
Feneb.
just saw.
It's gonna be like this for the next 2 upcoming games. I mean, Clement versus Feneb and Zigzag versus Katsu, both matchups where the playstyle differs a lot.
agree.
And yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
standings are
see,
still the
with
same.
Moving being the first mode they play, that's a bit handy for Feneb, I would say.
Yeah, it could
I
always
don't
be an
know.
advantage mentally,
I was about to say that. I don't know how the mantle of Clement is on that. If he's getting behind, does he keep it cool? Does he stay locked in? Is he getting tilted, frustrated? I don't know. But
All I'm gonna
those
say
are
is-
factors that definitely affect your performance.
Yeah, all I'm gonna say is I've seen Clement lose 500 elo in a day and gain it up 500 elo again. So
Envision.
he likes to tilt a bit.
All right.
Likes to be on a winning spree, and so we'll see. So if it goes bad for Clement, maybe we'll see a rage quit in game 2.
Rage
see.
quit here wouldn't be too nice. I don't think he would consider that, but
No.
at least he's not giving up.
Especially the stakes, because maybe we should mention for every game that the players win, they get 50 euros. So, yeah, how much money in total will that be over the entire thing? I haven't really calculated it, but it's like 480 matches times 50. A lot of money, let's just say that. So
is it per match or is it per game?
per match. So
Per match, right.
whoever wins the match
For
gets
every-
the 50. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, that
Blinky already
can
50 bucks
count up.
richer.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the last 50 for him, though. That's all I'm going to foreshadow.
Most likely not. And
But
yeah,
at least if he
we
gets
are-
those like quite little arrows out of the system, like the Australia round, I think if he spends a bit more time on Australia, he will know that region as well.
Yeah, as
And
I
then it's even
said,
more scarier.
I feel like he's a little bit out of practice, but at the same time, Blinky only needs a couple days, couple weeks to really get back to that shape where he doesn't make those mistakes again.
Yeah, so
And,
you
yeah.
better play him right now because you're not having a better chance at winning than right now.
True. The ones that face him now might have an advantage. And yeah, we are getting ready for the next game so far. No informations about that. I don't know about the results of the other games.
I think we were... No, they were already
Probably
played, so we already
also-
had them.
Yeah.
So we basically streamed 2 games of the same like time slot, so now we're kind of on pace again.
Yeah.
Actually did a lot of that with the time. We watched 2 entire matches and we took 45 minutes.
I mean, I
Pretty
can't
good.
complain. Got to see a little bit more than we expected to. Also got some insights from the Sheena Kirania game. That's always nice to see more games. And
Yeah, that's why we're here. And it has to be mentioned that every player is playing every player, so there is no player has a better schedule than the other one. Everyone plays everyone. It's a round robin. And at the end, we'll see who will be on top. Top 12 qualifies for the World Cup. And yeah,
yeah, Feneb representing Australia, therefore in a way other time zone than Clement. Do you think that can affect anything?
not for these players, I think. I think they can adapt their schedule a bit so that it's not too early for them or not too late. They will kind of play around that, wake up early or stay up late, something like that.
Also, us GeoGuessr players known to not have a proper sleep schedule anyway, so
True.
I feel like that shouldn't cause too much of an issue.
And it's not like we have anything better to do on a Sunday, so let's be honest.
And it's Sunday as well.
We're gonna be
That
here
is
every
right.
Sunday, so you better be ready for it.
Yeah.
It's not the
And
last
it's
day.
pretty much the whole, more or less the whole day. So a lot of matches to watch on every Sunday.
Yeah, you definitely won't go out of content anytime soon in GeoGuessr because
Nope.
there's also going to be weekly recaps made by Bloom, so you can kind of, catch up on the other games. How did they go? Anything very interesting? That's also very good because I feel like, given the amount of games played, there will be some matches that will be very hype, and it would be a waste to not see them. So we have a way to see them at the end, and it's going to be on GeoGuessr's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Obviously going to take a bit after Sunday, but it will be up someday.
Yes, it will be. And I mean, catching up with all the games is something you can really expect from everyone. So really nice to have those recaps from our homie Bloom.
We'll also be casting the later part of the stream. There's going to be a 4-hour break between. And then he's going to cast. He has a
We are
surprise
waiting
guest.
for
I'm not
Clement
going to
to
say who it
click
is.
ready.
But I'm just
So
going to say
game
you will
will
have
probably
maybe a
start
bit more
soon.
insight on the moving side of things. Let's just keep it at that.
That's right.
No
and
more
we
clues needed.
just got the info that the match is ready to start. They still wait for Clement to click ready. And then we go straight into it. Very hype about this match. And
Let's hope
as
he
per
can find the
usual,
button.
we start with the moving game. where we already said Feneb is more favored. But yeah, I'm always happy to see some upsets, who knows?
But we could see an MK intercent angle. Maybe Clement is the type of to just say, nah, not giving you any time. And maybe my guess will even be better. So
Who knows?
we could see that.
Have you seen Clement play moving duels before?
No.
Yeah, same.
I mean, that goes for a few players. I have, like V8-9, I don't really have seen him play moving. Maybe a bit in La Ligue, but that's pretty much it.
We're gonna check Eamonn.
Some people have definitely,
shortly.
picked it up just
We
because
have
they
some
know,
issues
okay, if I
with the
want
first game,
to be good at GeoGuessr, I have to be good at moving side of things as well, because moving isn't going anywhere in the competitive scene. It will always be a part of it. So yeah, they accepted their fate, and we are already in the game.
It's Eamonn and
Make
Zigzag.
a little
We have
switch
Sheena,
over
Clement,
here.
Feneb.
Watching the current game of Eamonn versus Zigzag.
And we have a 5k by Zigzag on Cocos Island, and Eamonn going the other island that is possible with the car that was visited probably to them.
Yeah, they are in the moving game of round 3 now.
And Zigzag not moving. Is that the Tuba Mosque? No, not. Tuba Mosque is a bit bigger.
A little bit, yes. Very interesting guess there. Yeah, switching up. Was more north.
Okay. Rain getting back. Zigzag going the incessant angle. He didn't move a single click. I didn't see him move at all.
Yeah, I feel like he did trust the Google car too much there, because that white car is not only very common, it's the only car you see south of the Gambia.
Yeah, this is how moving games can be as well. I mean, Zigzag is
Yeah.
showing, okay, I'm not gonna spend any time, not giving you any time. I don't care about this. Just let me go to the next round.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even finish my sentence and they are on the next round, so...
Yeah, it's hard to explain
Going
how
on.
their thought process is if they just insta-guess every single time.
Oh, we have an area code here. Does Zigzag still know them? I know that he learned them for the World Cup.
We have no
For the
fronts,
last World Cup.
no front plates. And we have a town name, Bowen,
Yeah,
if that's how you pronounce that. I'm not really sure.
I mean... I would believe it is like that.
It's not a town name, apparently.
Could be a
Zigzag
little suburb.
Insta-guessing and getting closer again. Kind of the theme of this game so far.
Moving on, I would say it looks like Portugal.
I agree. I was thinking about Italy for a second, but then I saw the pole.
Yeah, especially
Poles with
this
holes in it.
walk path with those cobblestones. Is a very common thing you see in Portugal, and of course in Brazil. Just right outside Lisbon here.
And Zigzag, he's about to take the moving game from Eamonn. Not what I would have predicted beforehand. But maybe the insta-guessing is just too OP. And we are in France, it seems. Very useful to get a phone code here, because they are very regional.
Yeah, also a country Zigzag has put in a lot of time in. I remember practicing France with Zigzag for a couple days. For me it was a couple days, but he stuck to it. He continued
fun,
learning it. It's okay. It's okay. I think you have to just commit too much in learning France, because there's a lot to learn.
We are seeing the game here for a Zigzag taking the moving game. Not a particularly very good guess, but the pressure was
Indonesia?
enough to make Eamonn not find any information. And yeah, it seems like maybe that's the play style against moving players, when you know, okay, I'm at a disadvantage generally in moving, so maybe I can win by insta-sending.
Yeah,
It
I
can
would
work. Ooh, and we get another moving game. And this time it's Feneb. And he has a Kabupaten name, I think. So
It's saying, is it saying?
it says
Bolo?
Bima. No, it says
Oh,
Bima.
it's saying Bima there, yeah.
Kota Bima. Yeah, it's on the screen right now. He's not on it, but he's very close.
I don't know how big the Kabupaten of Bima is, because yeah, that's still Bima, probably.
No, it also says when it says
Yeah.
KEC, that's abbreviation for
Kecamatan.
Kecamatan,
Yeah.
and that means the city. That's kind of how Indonesia organizes their yeah, regencies and cities. I think they call it regencies. Yeah, instead of regions.
Should we move on?
Yeah. All I'm gonna say is the moving looks a bit slower on Feneb's screen.
Yeah.
But
It's hard to judge whether he is just moving slowly.
Yep. Clement is zoomed into Mexico, but this is Argentina because we just saw the black car, which is common in Argentina and Peru. So, and Clement is not switching his guess. He's still zoomed.
Ooh,
I hope he realizes,
that
but
one.
he is scanning something.
He's also not really moving that much.
But he has a pole right next to him. I hope he realizes, because he definitely knows. Maybe it's just a nurse, but we could see a win right here if Feneb gets close enough.
yeah, he takes a good look. I mean, not enough
It's too late.
diagonal pole.
It's too late for Clement.
He stays in Mexico.
That will be enough to make a one-round
Wow.
knockout by Feneb. I mean, not the way I would have expected Feneb to win a moving game just by, clicking
not
the
at all.
country.
Not at all.
To be fair, Feneb was the only one who had maybe like a frame where you could see the black car, so he was not even considering Mexico at all. But all things considered, Clement, he sent a cry emoji because he knows he missed something there. And yeah, maybe the nurse definitely getting to Clement, but I think now we're going to a game mode which suits him, and he will show us why he placed first in the qualifier seed. Has to be mentioned, Clement finished first by far in front of a lot of good players. So yeah, I was definitely excited to see him play.
Yeah, and as I've mentioned earlier, now it's definitely also a question of your mental after losing this way. You really have to stay locked in, not making the mistake again.
Yeah, he even tried to move because he was reading in the first round. He was not giving up anything, so...
I mean, after we spawned in, I wasn't sure at all what country we are in. But yeah, Mexico can look like that, but yeah, we had a lot of info. But he also didn't really make good usage of the moving function there, I would say.
Yeah,
just
it was
staying
difficult to
around.
decide which direction you want to go, and that's kind of also like a bit of a skill you can learn. There's only so much you can learn intuitive. There's a cap, but yeah, here we have a French pole.
Yep, some call it waffle pole, some call it ladder pole. What do you call it, Ziggy?
I mean, I call it ladder pole, even though it doesn't make sense, because how are you supposed to climb this? Because there's no holes in it, really.
I could see you climbing up there, Ziggy. I could see that. I could imagine that.
I mean, I could. It's not like it's going to be easy. A ladder is supposed to be, functional.
I mean, yeah. Based on the architecture we see,
Some houses look so south, but
yeah,
I
it
don't
looks
know
more
whether that
sudden
is...
with the orange tint in the tiles, because like northwest you get more like black roofs. So I would go. It was northwest though.
It is coastal architecture.
Yeah, true. It was closer to the coast. It's also not the region where it starts getting black roofs, so it was just at the border of it.
Wow,
And
let's talk about
I didn't
this.
get to see anything on Clements. He's already in the map. Yeah, new Turkey coverage with this pickup car.
We have a bollard, maybe with a... I don't see the symbol.
Interesting round. It looks like... Yeah, like... I mean... It looks like where Clement guessed, based on the looks.
Yeah.
However, a lot of the stuff in the south can also look like that, I've realized. I didn't really do my proper research on the new coverage
Damn.
yet.
I thought you could
Or at
tell me
least
the road
not,
here.
not in a way where I looked at everything. I mostly go province by province. And I didn't look at this region yet too much. But we have very similar guesses.
Yeah.
I like
Peninsula.
both guesses though. It should be somewhere in that rough region, and indeed Clement picking up some points there.
Very minimal. Maybe quick little mention that Clement is half French as well, so maybe he had a bit of knowledge in the France round. He is French and Danish, which is a very interesting combination, I think. I've never heard of a person that is French and Danish, because there's Germany in the way usually.
Yeah,
And we have a
indeed.
Penza on the sign, which is a big city.
Penza Gorod. And we have a Penza, I guess, from...
Gorod means
from
city,
both
right?
of them. Yeah, probably. I mean, some cities literally end with that. Yeah, no points happening here, but Clement still on a flawless pace into round 4.
We are getting a lot of NA, I have to mention.
Yeah, this should be Canada though, especially with that pedestrian walk sign.
So we have no front plate, so would you consider... What does it say there? Couldn't really read it.
Neither could I. Is it actually Canada though?
If it is Canada, where do you even guess?
Could see this being around...
Why do some plates look like Delaware plates?
Is it
Some of them look black.
Did we have French on the sign? I couldn't really read it on
Me
my
neither.
screen.
I don't know if we just didn't have a front plate
Kinda
or
looks
that.
like Halifax, but that's a very...
Yeah.
Oh, he's going Halifax. Yeah, I like
see
that
it.
guess because
It's a big city.
I thought it looks like it. Hey,
On the money.
it was.
Feneb tilting a bit.
Yeah, not the easiest round, but it gave a vibe of a big city. So committing Halifax can pay off.
We have some language here.
Do we have here?
We have a Romanian marker there. Just quite a little
Yeah,
waystone
this-
there with a number on it.
Yeah.
Very common in Romania.
Couple
Sadly, it doesn't give you the
things.
road number.
Yeah, looks like we are somewhere in the mountains. Looks quite mountainous.
I like Feneb's guess. He's on the road that lines up. He's always the guy who has to guess on the road that lines up just for like
Yeah, it
for the
feels
head,
better.
you know.
Just feels better.
And he got closer, so
Almost in the right county as well.
yeah, was close to Brasov. All Feneb needs is one big country anyway, like Russia.
Okay,
Have
again
a
we
town
have a
name.
sign.
What does it say? Like Olenegorsk, it says. Oh yeah, and Feneb found it. So that is a very quick find. I didn't know that town existed.
Same. Never heard of it. But
Yeah, that's Feneb for you guys.
it's
I don't know how far that away they are, but that might be enough to win the game.
It's definitely game.
Let's go. He goes
Yes.
up with the fist. Let's go,
Wow.
Feneb. And that is his second 2-0. Feneb is pulling away. I mean,
In vision?
6 points for him.
Yeah, I mean definitely on a round like this. This is the panel you want to end on as a moving player, where you have a city name that's not too known to the like the general player, but moving players who stick to moving just know a lot of place names, and
Obviously.
he's super happy to get that in a no move game.
Yeah, obviously we don't know whether he combined how it looked and then just scanned there and instantly found it. There's always this like uncertainty we can't see in his head. Maybe in future weeks we maybe have player
Scared.
interviews, but for the first we don't. So let's take a look at our schedule for today, and we already have 2 results of this round. Feneb and Zigzag both pulling it 2-0. Yeah, what do you think about the other 2 matchups?
Yeah, still ongoing. Probably really hard to make predictions here. Especially on the Harrier Trishna matchup. I mean,
Zigzag and Katsu
versus Emerian, we
next
saw the
after
first
break.
game.
You can throw to a break.
Zigzag did want to get the move game out of the way, and he did it in a way where he just insta-sent everything, because Emerian is more of a moving player, I think, and he did try to put the pressure on, almost making it a no-move game. I mean, we saw that. And after that, on the actual no-move game, that was where he shined and picked up the 2-0 there. So congrats to Zigzag and congrats to Feneb picking up the points
congrats
here.
to them. Next up, we will have Zigzag again, so maybe he does the same strategy against Katsu, who is his opponent. We're actually gonna take a quick break though, because we had a lot of actions for the time we had, because both of the games were very quick. So we're gonna head into a quick break, and we'll see you guys after the break.
Thank you, boys. That was a rough start from the tech issue side here on our end. But you did great, filling all the gaps of time. So we think we found the bug now that causes the featured live streamed one to not work. So hopefully it will work for Zigzag and Katsu directly. You have 20 minutes until you're gonna go back to you guys, so if you want to go to the bathroom, get a drink, you can do that now. Just be back before the timer ends. Thank you. Testing, testing.
Katsu, again, no move or NPC versus I wanna move. Two very different playstyles here. Zigzag did play in a way where he tried to work his way around that by just instantly sanding his guesses down against the Thailand player Marion. Will he do the same against Katsu? Probably.
It's a bit riskier because Katsu probably even better at moving than Eamonn. That being said, they're both very good at it. I'm very interested to see, but I think he does it again. Just slam it down every round.
Definitely. That's what I would do as well against a super strong moving player like Katsu. I mean, I've played him before. I know how well he plays in moving, and you definitely would want to put the pressure down there against him to not give him enough time to work his way to the 5k.
That being said, his no-move games and NPC games at the World Cup were also very entertaining to watch. They were always very close, some insane toss-ups in NPC. They kind of went all over the place, which, you know, is nice to see as a viewer. It's
good content. Doesn't feel good as a player, but from a viewing perspective, that's what you want to see, right? You want to see the pros be wrong.
And it also shows we're all just mortals, so yeah, let's take a look at the standings right now. What do you think? Who's standing out to you?
I mean, there's one person with 6 points, the one and only. It's Feneb, flawlessly going through the tournament, only winning so far. But right behind that you have Trishta with 5 wins. I mean, Trishta, we know he is a very, very, very strong player. Trishta is the type of player I feel like where 10 people go wrong and he's on the 5k.
But we have no time to talk about Trishta. We are already in the round.
Right
and Zigzag's insta-guessing, so business per usual.
Yeah, very interesting avatar from Zigzag there.
Yeah, he has the
new drip.
I think it's Cancerfonden Society thing.
From the lab.
Yeah, maybe he cooked something up in the lab.
Yeah.
At least 100 points. So
both very far away here. They can both be lucky. Neither of them got it right.
Yeah, Urban Argentina can be pretty hard, but now we have a bit of an easier round, at least for the country. We have the Colo Cross. We have yellow license plate. What more do you want?
Yeah, Colo Cross, which we talk about when we see the back of the sign in Colombia. You have this cross mounting on it, which is a very good indicator to get the country. And we were a bit more inland there. Zigzag did pick up a more northern vibe.
Yeah, always pretty hard to tell how the terrain is around you if you're in a big city. It kind of takes away that element. And now maybe Zigzag's chance to get some huge points on the board. We're gonna be in Australia, driving left.
Definitely, and you can tell we are in his home country by the fact that he is not instantly sending it. He's trying to find information because there's a good chance he can make good usage of that. And he does indeed get to a sign.
But Katsu has very good information with Toowoomba and Rockhampton, two very big towns in Queensland.
Zigzag did stop moving.
I think he's scanning for the town.
Oh, that could be it, yeah. Zooming in and out on the map.
I think so far Katsu has the better sign though, so he might be closer here. Actually, no.
Yeah.
Was a sign to Rockhampton at the
I mean,
the
that's
border?
Pretty much how Australia works, I guess. You get a town name and it's 1,000 kilometers away.
Yeah, I was thinking we were between the two towns, but yeah, it was just in a row basically.
Yeah, he got quite unlucky with that, I guess.
I got Finnish language here.
Yeah.
And just a send, nothing he wants to look at. So
Yeah, Katsu still moving around looking for more information here.
yeah, there's a bigger road here where he might get to, but I think it's too late.
Yeah, he got to a railway.
there's
There is a sign, but
It's
both
a
place
Scorpio.
names are... Yeah,
Could have been a bit more damage if
Bit
he
too
has
late
2 more seconds.
read it, definitely. On to the next round. Seems like we have Thai polls. Yeah, we are in Thailand.
Yeah, I immediately
What do
think
we
very far
have?
south just because of the palm trees, but maybe that's just
Yeah.
deceiving.
What are these crops here? Is that ananas? Like pineapple? Or
Ananas?
ananas,
Yeah,
pineapple?
pineapple. Yeah,
Should be,
I
right?
don't know.
Is that regional?
I've never seen them,
it's
but I would say south.
Yeah. Does count as south. It's on the tiny span. But they are both picking up that vibe.
Yeah, I think with that many palm trees, you kind of have to trust it, especially if you have weird crops that you have never seen. Usually
Yeah, they
just
also
south.
try to get a good look on the insulator because that can also help, like the length of it.
Yeah, I think the number of rings is important.
But yeah, next round we are in the Nordics again.
We have a water hedge, and it pays off. Katsu can be very happy there because that could have been very bad for him if it turned out to be Finland, which it was, but just very close to the coast.
Yeah, definitely got very lucky there. Or he just picked up the vibe for it being a bit more southern coastal.
Zigzag actually moving in Japan because he has been there, but we just have a silver plate which indicates Tokyo instead of the usual white ones.
Yeah, the greater region around Tokyo does have these plates. They both know it. Both plunking it down there. And it was pretty far outside of Tokyo, but not much happening here.
Not much, but it's all he needs, 1 round.
Indeed. And what do we have here? Is it Malaysia again? It seems
have a
like
flag.
it. We have
And a state flag even,
Yeah.
so... Is that the right flag? I don't know. I've
I
never
would
learned
believe
Malaysian
Zigzag
flags.
because he did make a document on region guessing Malaysia a while ago, so he did do his research.
And we have an Indo guess.
Oh,
You didn't see the Malay flag. And that's gonna be
Katsu
game.
didn't get to it. Yeah, definitely.
I think he had it on the screen for a second, but he looked at the infrastructure.
Yeah, I
Or, like,
was looking at
housing.
Zigzag's screen there. I didn't see Katsu seeing it.
Maybe he didn't, but that's interesting. Usually flags don't decide pro games, but in this case it does.
It did,
There's
it did indeed. I
there's
mean,
a meme.
especially the province flag as well.
Yeah. And if you know them, you're him, you're Zigzag.
You picking up the win there. And I would say Zigzag is super happy to pick up a win on the moving game against Katsu. Now he can, I wouldn't say relax, but at least he got that off his shoulders. And we are in India on the first no move game.
Yeah, very bad camera quality. Always a good indicator for India. I think we might have a Maharashtra poll, but I'm not sure. Okay, Katsu confirms my thought. I think this type of poll is common there, but India is very unreliable when it gets to polls and stuff because they're not very organized. And it was Maharashtra.
It was still in Maharashtra in the pocket up there. Yeah, I would agree. A lot of polls are only 98%, 95% reliable. But yeah, if you don't have anything else, you just make your guess based on that. And we are moving over to what seems like a Norway round.
And it looks very far
It's
north. We have the
very-
long dashes again. And this almost looks like we're in the Lofoten area or even more north.
Yeah, it does
At least
indeed
this
look
reminds me of my
rather-
vacation this year, so...
It might be around there. It might be around there. I mean, all these mountains around in the water, and it's very open to the northwest, which makes you consider this region of Norway.
Yeah, Katsu wants to line something up, but this can be very tricky. There's so many small islands and coastlines you have to consider. So definitely not an easy task.
Mhm. Let's see. Who's closer? And it was a lying location.
And we
It
get the
was
exploding head emoji from both
Not-
players.
Not something you see rarely. It happens a lot where the north just looks like the south, or the south looks like the north in Norway. Very hard to make an altitude guess in that country sometimes.
Yeah, another
But
big
we move
country
on.
coming up.
Yeah.
Brazil, red soil, makes you instantly think of Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like the middle region, like Goiás, Minas. It looks very undescriptive to me, so that's why I would guess there.
Yeah, I would say it kind of looks like Goiás. So therefore I like the guesses they make.
Still pretty far away.
Yeah, Katsu
Katsu's
getting
on it.
very close. That's significant points.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to click Goiás. It's kind of like the middle. I think it kind of counts as the middle of the country, at least for GeoGuessr players.
Yeah, we see countries often after how the coverage is inside the country, because west of Brazil you don't have a lot of coverage in the western regions. That's why we see that more as the center of a hedge. And we are in the United Kingdom here.
Yeah, driving left. I think we had a yellow backplate, or maybe not, but it looked very UK. Zigzag considered Jersey for a second.
Yeah, it looks pretty southern. The architecture looks a bit different, I would say. It was Ireland.
Okay, that was not a
Did
yellow
we
backplate.
have a yellow plate? Okay, I also thought I saw one, but
I guess not. They're
might be a
both.
traveler.
Katsu is like, what? Interesting. Ooh, we're back. Back in Panama
Yeah.
with this Google car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
As
we have
to where
these wooden
exactly?
stake fences, which you see a lot in Latin America.
Yeah, it's a very good clue, especially for Panama and Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
In Colombia, you get a bit more concrete fences, or maybe even painted fences. Yeah, very common there.
Yeah, but as a region guess, I mean, you have some dry parts, some green parts in Panama, but they're all a bit clustered around the country. So I feel like Panama is a type of country where you always have to commit to some region if you want to get really close. And I would consider this as a very close guess from
not,
Zigzag.
not sure how he pulled that one off,
He's on
but he
point.
did it regardless.
1.6 kilometers with no information. None so ever. It's very impressive.
Okay, let's see. We have a Czechoslovakian bollard. The question is which country it is.
I would say Czechia with the white car, right?
Yeah, it also kind of looks like Poland.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how you try to guess Czechia.
Yeah.
Guessing, does it look German? Does it look Austrian? Does it look Polish? And you just guess
Definitely.
based off that. And it's Germany, actually.
Almost Germany. Right on the border there. And again, Zigzag getting the western vibes. Picking up some points, evening it out. We are in Kazakhstan, looking very green and flat, so you consider more the northern side of the country.
Yeah, you definitely consider the very north, like Kostanay region, Petropavl. Yeah. Also kind of looks like Omsk over the border in Russia, so that's
Yeah.
also a thing.
Definitely, if you want to vibe guess this, if you don't want to use the Google card to make a
I think-
region guess, I would say this is still something you can pick up on the vibes.
I really like Zigzag's guess just because it's not super like green, where you would see it in Petropavl, but rather a bit dryish, which makes more sense for a bit more west. But we have a very far west send in October from Katsu. Now he switches back to close to
okay.
Astana. He's not sure at all.
Doesn't know whether to commit or make a safety hedge.
Yeah, he's very nervous right now because he's switching all over the place.
Zigzag's road lines up very well, and he is again right on it. He's playing
with
out of his mind.
Not a 5k, because the map borders are a bit different, but Zigzag winning the game 2-0, taking it home to Australia.
Very, very, very well deserved there from Zigzag. A lot of impressive guesses. He's on point.
And even
all the time.
Even taking the moving game, so...
Yeah, he did really need to do that in order to get the 0-2, and yeah, congrats to Zigzag. A very, very good performance there.
That will definitely give him some confidence to maybe do a bit more of insta-guessing in the future, because so far it has paid off. Both games going 2-0 to him, so he's also joining Feneb with basically a flawless day so far, and he will definitely take the top spot with Feneb for day 1 or week 1. So definitely something he's gonna be proud of, and we'll see where he goes from there.
I mean, the whole country can be proud of them, because they are both representing Australia. So Australia is on top right now.
True, and despite being, further away, so they have worse internet, but they're kind of owning us Europeans and Americans right now.
Just being better works, I guess.
Yeah, that's always that's the best part. If you are better, you usually win.
I would agree. Over the long term of things, the better player will always win, even though luck is a huge factor of GeoGuessr.
Yeah, as we saw, multis can spin in the favor. Blinky had a pretty lucky game against Eamonn. That could have ended the other way anytime. But, that's the game.
Definitely. It's part of it. And yeah, that's so much about the game we just watched. Up next, what do we have up next?
I think up next we have... Let's take a look at the schedule, shall we?
Consus versus Sheena.
Consus Sheena?
Now this is another very, very hype matchup, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, maybe we can take a peek into the games that are running right now. I don't know if that is possible.
Yeah.
But maybe they're not finished yet, and we can take maybe an NPC game or something.
Yeah, simultaneously we had Yanik playing against Captain and Katsu versus Kirania. No.
Any predictions for those matches?
Yet.
For the game modes?
I would say, Captain played very, very good in the qualifier seeds, the games.
Yeah, he plays second place out of, I think, almost 40 people playing, so... Or even more if you consider the other regions. So him and Clement were the top 2 placed, but so far, Clement didn't show his peak performance in the game, sadly. Had a bit of a blunder there, but he will come back stronger. I'm very sure of that, because there's a reason he performed that well. And over the long run, it will even out. And we shouldn't take the first week as, this is how the game, the whole thing will go. Because people can also practice. I mean, it's gonna be 20 weeks, so they can even increase their skill.
Yeah, definitely. There's still a lot of time to improve. The current standings right now on how prepared you are might differ a lot from 10 weeks later on, so we can't really measure it right now. But yeah, based on that, I would say Captain maybe has the lead there against Yanik.
And we might be able to watch the game soon. There's a bit of a technical issue on their game, but we might be able to tune in. Would be nice, and then we'll see if your prediction is right. So
we will find out.
Right.
But at the same time, there's the other game with Katsu and Kirania. Do we have any thoughts about that?
I see Kirania as a favorite there. I don't know. I just see him winning. Kind of the moving game. I think I'm very surprised about how Kirania played last year, because I didn't really have him on the board for moving that well, and so he kind of surprised me there. So every time I see him playing a moving game, and I'm like, okay, he can win this easily. And then in no move and NPC, he's kind of on par with everyone else. So what's there to stop him, really?
Yeah, that's definitely giving you another perspective after you see those players playing in the World Cup, especially. Yeah, for me, I was with the players in their training rooms, really got to look how they play some duels out, and yeah, I was very, very impressed by a lot of players, and a lot of players where I predicted them to be better at no move are actually playing really good at moving, and the other way around, where I thought, okay, this is only a no move player, but they actually are also very, very good at no move. So yeah, getting those games where you can watch them play, makes you change your perspective on them.
Yeah, I think my take on that is really that the no move sector is that it's very close in skill wise. So you can be a lot better in moving by having a bit practice, because it's kind of up for grabs though, because not that many people are picking it up. And it can become a massive advantage, as we just saw. I mean, Zigzag not really moving, but you know, just insta-sending on moving and playing that basically perfect. And also Feneb kind of taking his time, but also showing that he's really good at moving. And yeah, I'm kind of glad to see that moving players also, you know, can show their strength. And you know, we get a bit of moving gameplay.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would say, especially with the start of the World Cups, you could really see people play moving way more. So they are kind of forced to it, I would say, because it's part of the competition. So you have players actually also play moving who used to not play it. And we are in the game of Katsu versus Kirania in the no move round right now.
Yeah, jumping in. First game went to Saju in moving. Exactly the opposite as I said. Pro analyst, by the way.
Happens.
Where are we? Is this a Colo pole with a Colombian pole with the marking on it?
It should be definitely with the Google car as well, which has like a slight black tint to it, so it should be Colombia. Looks very sandy though, but at the same time hilly, which is a bit weird, I would say. Because the sandy parts are more in the north in Colombia.
There are some weird pockets in Neighbor,
the north is usually more flat, so it was north anyway. So yeah, you have a little bit of mountains up there, but
yeah, there's a huge ridge basically on the sea there, and that's a very hard region to get, just because it looks like both the north and the south at the same time. So Saju getting a pretty decent guess, not very close to it, but
yeah,
taking 1.3k points.
And we are in Argentina. Saju making a plunk down in Rosario. He's trying to look for a right angle maybe, because he checked the angle of the road. And most towns in Argentina have a certain pattern in their grids, so you can use that to region guess. In this case, he was pretty close, but Kirania not too far away.
Yeah, let's hope Kirania can make some points here, because he needs this win to get into the NMPZ.
Yeah.
And this almost looks like Germany to me. I didn't see what copyright we had, maybe.
Satya is looking
like
for
a
23. I would agree. It looks German. In first glance, I thought Netherlands, because the road was very narrow and you have a lot of wind turbines, but that also happens in Germany, and I think the building looks way more German than Dutch. And it was indeed Germany, but almost in Denmark. They are very far north, which makes sense with the flatness combined with the wind turbines.
Indeed. Whoa. Okay, this is... Wait. Oh, which one was this? It's the Argentina tracker. Yeah, I think Kirania knows.
Would you say this is famous?
This is very famous, but I'm very bad with tracker coverage, so...
Yeah.
I think Kirania knows it, because he instantly zoomed into the national park.
Yeah, but by the looks, even though it is a tracker...
We have a US guess. This might be the game.
US versus Argentina. It was indeed Argentina. With 2.5x damage, that's definitely game here.
12k damage.
Right on it.
Saju had
Even
a
if
good start.
Saju would have been somewhere in the south of Argentina, I mean, Kirania was 13 kilometers off here. So he was definitely in the right park.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to know every single tracker. Even though the coverage is super limited, the tracker usually just goes for like 5 kilometers, which is... And it looks so different than the rest of the country, because I've never seen a structure like that in Argentina anywhere else.
Yeah. Definitely.
But you know, that's the beauty of trackers. You get to regions that are not accessible by roads, really.
Yeah, definitely.
And they can look like that, so...
And we jump right to the next game mode, which is NMPZ. And they are both on the map already.
And they're
right
both
away.
on the right road, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Or very close to it.
Close to it. We are in Eastern Mongolia here. With the greens, the dirt road.
Yeah, we
This
cannot
does
explain
make
everything
a lot
here
of
just because the
sense.
information is very limited.
Yeah.
But as you see, these players don't really need that much information.
Nope. And this should be
It's Japan.
Japan. However,
We might have a
Again,
Tohoku plate,
the
but I'm
pole-
not sure.
top doesn't look useful.
It was Tohoku. Yeah.
Wow. Very
Plate
far
was
north
visible.
there. It looked definitely a bit colder, but at the same time, it's very hard to commit in Japan sometimes.
Especially if you take seasons into account.
Yeah.
Okay,
Or
this
if-
is interesting. We have
Yeah.
a Poland guess. I'm not sure what this is.
Versus Sweden, and it was indeed Sweden. Yeah,
Impressive.
Kirania was trying to put the pressure on. So you had a couple more seconds to think through it. Got the right country there, which gives him a good lead now.
And I'm not really sure what this is. This looks like Mexico to me just by the landscape with the yellow line in the middle.
Yeah, we have a
but
yellow line.
could this be anything
therefore-
else?
I don't see anything else because it is too tropical. I mean, with yellow lines, what do you consider?
I mean, anything in Americas, really.
It's in the, yeah. But I would say anything south of the US.
And I really like the Nayarit guess for some reason,
Mhm.
because it looks like nothing in Mexico, really.
Yeah. So
Nayarit
you're
is very
making
weird.
a safety guess around Mexico City.
And CMX would have been the closest guess. That is a classic
Yeah,
round of Mexico.
definitely, definitely. Especially if you don't pick up a strong vibe.
Speaking of vibes, how do you guess this?
Good question. Looks somewhat rich, so I can understand the Kuala Lumpur guess on both sides, but it was actually pretty far north, almost on the border to Thailand.
Yeah, urban rounds, pretty much impossible to guess. Well, getting the country is already impressive enough, I would say. So,
Yeah, and we have a Generation 3 camera, wintry, which by default should be Bulgaria.
yeah.
Indeed is.
There's only 3 countries which you consider, which is Bulgaria, Hungary, and Czechia. And out of those, with the cracked pavement, everyone just goes Bulgaria there.
Exactly. We're getting pretty close to round limit already. We are on round 7.
But
With
on NMPZ,
4x damage.
on NMPZ, I don't think we'll reach the round limit, especially with a round like this.
With a round like this, it can already end here. India is big enough to give you the needed points.
I don't know whether it's
For
more north or
Satsi.
south.
It was indeed more south, and Satsu's picking up the win here against Kirania in the
Yeah,
NMPZ game.
In NMPZ. Actually, everything happened opposite what
everything,
we said.
yeah, everything we predicted was very much the opposite.
That's a
but
good. That's a good thing though, because that means that every match will be interesting, regardless of what we think the match will go.
Yeah, it's definitely making it more interesting to watch as well, because what is the point of watching a game if you already know how it's gonna end up, right, Ziggy?
Yeah, especially with the multipliers, I think everything is possible, and that's kind of the reason they're in the game. They kind of give everyone the chance to win at any time, pretty much. From round 2, everything is possible. It's only one round.
Definitely, definitely. And also, if you take those multis out, it's still usually always coming down to one guess at the end anyway. Because if you pick up a lot of points in a no multis game, it's just stalling it out to the end, and the player who made one better guess wins at the end. So I don't think there's a lot of difference between that. And yeah, very interesting to see some more insights of the games that we didn't plan to cast, but yeah, we are very happy to get those insights.
Yeah, and we might even get a third game, so we see every single game. We're jumping right in, and it's
Oh,
4x
wow.
multipliers, and
Nice.
Yanik's already down to 400 health, so...
We are jumping into the Yanik captain game. And what just happened here?
Well, Captain 1 on moving. Definitely very strong moving player.
Yeah, didn't really get to see what the information was we had on either side.
Whatever it
But
was
we'll
enough.
Get the win for captain, and it's gonna be the no move game next on this matchup.
Yeah, Captain, the hope for Sweden in the league, obviously. GeoGuessr is from Sweden, so, you know, they might be inclined to have somebody that performs very well, and looks like he's performing.
Of course, yeah. I mean, last World Cup it was Crooks representing Sweden, but he couldn't manage to play for the next World Cup.
Yeah,
And
a bit
we
sad,
get
but it's a very
captain now.
tough time commitment.
Yeah, definitely
Committing 20
is.
weeks.
It
so
definitely is, yeah.
I get it.
Have to respect the commitment for every player that's participating in this.
So
The
let's
game
jump in.
starts. And it's starting off in Greece, I would say, with these poles, that car.
Yeah,
It
wooden
looks a bit
poles.
more modern in the country. What do you think?
I just thought, oh, we have a Romania hover. I thought to me the car looked black, so,
Yeah.
or like a bit darker. So, okay, he missed. He goes back to Greece. That's good.
Yeah,
And both
also
of them
these
are
tall
tough.
poles are almost exclusive to Greece and Europe. They are a bit taller than other poles in the country, and it is indeed north. Very similar guesses. Not much happening here, and we get to round 2.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the first game which has 2 player cams and not just one. Because
Sure.
so far, every single time there was a one person, but
Yeah,
we'll
and
see.
we
Interesting
are
to see the reactions.
in Iceland.
Yeah, we have this white car and very cold-looking houses. They look very unique. I think you call them like bungalow. I hope that you call it that in English as well.
Yeah, maybe one-story buildings, maybe bungalows, however you call it.
No big points here.
Yeah. Again, only 284 points. Nothing to worry about. And now we are on double damage.
We have a black line in the middle.
Yeah, this
that
is
a
a
Cali
good
line?
clue for California.
It almost looks like Death Valley, so why not?
Yeah, they both consider this region. They are both south of the Death Valley National Park.
Okay. Captain kind of zooming out a bit to see if his guess is too risky to make it, because sometimes you get lost while scanning, and then you're
Oh.
very far off, and then you might be like, okay, maybe I should send a bit more in the middle.
Definitely. I had that on when I was playing in the World Cup. We had a round in Nevada, and I was so far zoomed in trying to find the road, and I ended up in the next stage. That's realizing you went over, but yeah. In
Actually
this
pretty far
case,
north.
It was pretty far north, yeah. I would say almost as north as it can get with this landscape, because usually the further north you go in California, it gets more green.
And we stay in the US with this fence with the white toppings. I think that's they are reflectors, I think. So we don't crash into them. I wouldn't know how to region guess this.
This looks like, yeah, I was about to say Missouri, like Arkansas. I like that guess.
Yeah, that region with
Yeah, Yanik
Tennessee
is
maybe.
right between. Yep, could be more east or west of that. More likely to be a bit more east of that, I would say.
They're both very risky, but they're in the same place, so
Yeah,
we'll not see the game here.
they'll either be both right or both wrong.
Let's hope they're both right.
So let's hope that. better for the mental of the players, I guess.
Yeah, they're not changing their guesses. They're like, okay, I committed. I'm not gonna change. Very slight adjustment.
I was just in the middle of Missouri there.
Just near Mark Twain National Forest.
Again, so far very similar guesses, or at least not in a way where someone is taking the lead.
Sadly, no black tape on the car, so it's not Ghana. We have a police car again, so we're gonna be in Nigeria, and it says the House of God.
Yes, it does. We have palm trees, pretty green, so it should be more south in the country.
Yeah, Captain
However,
just
are
hedging
you
in the
east
middle.
or west? Just somewhere around Benin City. Both in the right state there.
Another big country. I'm not sure yet if it's the US or Mexico.
I would say it looks a bit more like northern Mexico. We have rock walls. And is it a single line?
I can't tell. I mean, it doesn't look like a double line at least, so makes Mexico
Which is
more.
likely to be
And the car
Mexico.
itself doesn't look like American cars. It's not a pickup, you know. No freedom here.
But
we
we
have a
do
US
indeed have a split up between the US and Mexico on the plunge so far. However, Yanik is still considering Mexico.
I
Looking
could
on
see a
the
Big
map.
Bend National Park maybe in Texas. That region kind of looks like Mexico. But so far,
Car plate looks kind of more US than Mexico, I want to say, but
we have two very different guesses. It could just be in the middle of the Coahuila, but
it could be right between their guesses as well. Yeah.
yeah.
But
Or
it was just on the label of Mexico.
and is that game, Trevor?
Almost game. That is almost
that it?
game.
With the Maltese.
It could be it in the next round though. Only 229 points left for Yanik. And we are in the Americas again with this double yellow line. Not pretty much more to work with here.
We have some slight hills in both directions, which can be quite helpful because a lot of the countries are flat in the middle. So now you have to decide which end is it.
Yes.
And we have Nova
Have a
Scotia.
Nova Scotia guess from Yanik, which makes sense with the double yellow line.
And we have a main guess, so it's kind of US versus Canada.
Splitting countries again. And again, it could just be right between them. And it's Oregon.
And it
The
might be
trees
enough to win.
Twist.
It's the game. That is
Wow.
very unfortunate. Oregon without wide lines, kind of tough to
Yeah,
get. That's what I
it
meant.
is.
The middle is flat. You have to decide: do I go west? Do I go east? And it turned out to be west. Captain winning that game, but his Mexico guess was very good. So definitely a deserved win. Taking it 2-0. Not a good start for Yanik.
Yeah, as someone who is more of a casual to this game, you look at that guess and think, oh my god, they are so far away. If you only look at the distance from the actual location, you think it's a bad guess. But however, as you mentioned before, the East and the West Coast can look very, very similar in a lot of instances.
And I didn't really see any trees that really indicated either east or west. Maybe some botanist out there can analyze that round and tell us how to get that, because I
Maybe.
would be interested.
Yeah, the
Because there's
pines-
definitely going to be something.
Yeah, the pines are usually way taller in the region around Oregon, Washington. I feel
Okay,
like the
noted.
trees weren't that tall, but yeah. Bit difficult to get, as we saw. Both didn't get it.
Yeah, but let's talk about our
but
next
that was
matchup.
enough.
Because we have one
Next
more matchup
matchup.
that we will definitely stream. Maybe even more. We'll see. It's going to be
But-
Consus against Sheena. But before that, we're going to take a quick break. So don't go anywhere. And see you guys after the break. we're back from the break, our last break for this broadcast. We have at least one more match to go, and yeah, it's none other than Consus though, so save the best for last. It's his first game, so he didn't play yet. What do you think?
I would say it's also the first match where we have very similar playstyle. I would say Consus and Sheena share the same playstyle. They're equally balanced on their skill set when it's coming down to moving games, no move versus NMPZ. Therefore, that makes it very interesting to watch, I think.
I think the moving game will be the most interesting part, because I feel like it's the first time we'll actually see two people that are very good at moving actually try and move. So I'm definitely looking forward, because they're not the type to insta-send. I just can't imagine that.
Definitely, yeah. That's what I meant with very similar playstyle. Therefore, a bit more exciting, I would say. No disrespect to the previous matches, but yeah, this is one I really look forward to watch.
I mean, we just had the craziest end to a game I've seen in some time. I mean, both of them being like 4,000 kilometers away, and somehow one of them is winning. Technically, he got the right country though, so
he did.
Not too bad. He was in the US, and it was the US.
He did pull off the win of that. We also had a post-game discussion about it. It was indeed a very weird round. I mean, we weren't sure either, but yeah.
I was made aware it's easy Western Trees. The statement was made by Finbar, so he's playing next weekend. So let's see if he can live up to that. I mean, he knows everything apparently, so...
Always easy to say it after the guess, right?
Yeah. I mean, we love backseating and saying, oh, that was obvious. It's the most GeoGuessr player thing ever, I think. And you always know, oh yeah, that makes sense. Saying that makes sense is also a very common sentence, but let's jump in. No time to waste.
Let's go. First game on this matchup, Consus versus Sheena, playing the moving game.
Yeah, Consus
and we are somewhere rural. We have a coastline, we have rock walls, so therefore I think we are in Ireland, especially with white houses being also present. We have a little bit of greens on the road, which is also a good clue for Ireland. All that combined.
Yeah, Consus jumped through a fence because the coverage changed, but I don't see them finding a big road.
Yeah, it's probably not happening.
We
However,
actually have a yellow plate there.
Back plate.
And I think we had
Are we in
Welsh?
Northern Ireland then?
Or was it Welsh? I don't know. Without the
I mean,
plate, I would have sent
landscape,
Ireland.
we shouldn't be in Northern Ireland, I think. So I guess Scotland or Wales, yeah. Those
Definitely
are
was a weird language, so I can see Wales.
Yeah. In
it's
Wales.
Wales.
And we indeed had another island guess from Consus. I can totally see both guesses. Yeah,
he
it's
didn't
both,
see that language, so he was at a disadvantage there.
both regions we mentioned, and they did end up in both of these regions.
We have a Latvia bollard here.
Yeah,
That was visible for a short amount of time, but they already know it's Latvia just by the looks, so they are not paying any attention to that. Does she have a road number on that? It looks like one. I can't make out what it says. Oh, Consus has it as well, so who's gonna scan faster?
Yeah, not that easy to find usually in this country. However, Consus has it, lines it up.
Both of them have
Again,
it now.
that's, yeah.
And they had
That's
it.
also something you wouldn't have seen in the previous games, because in the previous games, I think the players would have just sent it. However, in this game, they actually tried to get close on the road and not just getting the road.
And Sheena found the 5K, I'm pretty sure, because we had assigned to a different town.
Yes, and Consus still didn't find it there. He was there first, but Sheena just found it way quicker, picking up some points. Not much happening though, and we are in round 3 already.
You can never count out the Dutch destroyer, so...
That is true.
I think we're in Germany, and Landkreis he learned so an Alpkreis, it's like southwest, and he knows it. I think it's west of Ulm, yeah, like southwest. I think you should send, because if Sheena doesn't find the sign, this could be massive. Because there wasn't my first guess.
Yeah, it's always a bit difficult to make a right decision here. If you have this sign this close to spawn, you always expect your opponent to also have the same information. And if you give him the 15 seconds extra time to really find the places, you miss out on a lot of points.
I think Sheena went past the sign, if I saw that correctly. He might find another one, though.
He's getting to it.
Oh, he found it. Does he know Zollern-Albkreis, though? It's not the most famous, I can tell you that
No,
much.
he's getting the southern vibes, though.
But I think...
But
Consus
Consus is in the right
5K.
city. And that's gonna be 904 points, and
Yeah, I think it's becoming
in the
more and
lead
more
there.
popular to know every single German Landkreis. Consus is one of them that learns them all. Blinky, Harrier, probably a lot
Yeah.
of more like Katsu. Definitely a lot of people tried learning it. And we are at the pace stop. And we have Cyrillic.
yeah, we have Niš on the sign.
170
It's a
kilometers.
city in South Serbia, but it's pretty far away.
Yeah, so we're probably between Belgrade and
Mm-hmm.
Niš somewhere.
Yeah, Consus making use of every single second he has here.
Oh, he's in Croatia though.
Okay, he probably thought it's a border.
Yeah, he thought it's a border, or maybe he had an antenna, which is possible in Serbia on the main road in the south.
Yeah,
So maybe that's what confused him.
might have, yeah. Especially if you pick up a vibe immediately of a location, it often turns out that you don't even consider whether you're in the right country or not. You just try to find it within where you thought it is.
Yeah, we have
And
short plates
we
for
are
Italy, short
in-
double blue.
Italy indeed. A lot of good clues for the country here, however we don't really have the best clues to region guess it.
Is it actually
More
San
for
Marino?
It could be.
We have a San Marino guess.
I didn't see any plates yet.
I don't know why, but the... Oh, now he's in Gen 3.
Gen 3.
It is San
It
Marino.
was San Marino, yes.
A new edition, Gen 4 San Marino.
Yeah, not only that, they also brought back the Gen 3
Yeah,
camera generation back to San Marino.
you know, which
So,
can make for confusing
2 new
rounds for
additions.
older players.
Mm-hmm.
Just not used to it.
Definitely. And we are in Greece here. I would say again we have this long wooden pole.
And maybe the-
Mediterranean looking.
Was it actually Greek though? That looked Cyrillic.
I didn't see any text yet.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, this is Greece.
Oh,
It
we
looks
don't
Greek.
have a car. Yeah, it is. It is
And
probably
I-
close to Greece then, which is
We have
where
two North Masters.
Consus guessed. Yeah, both in North Macedonia, and it was. Hey, it was basically Greece. Okay, just a couple hundred kilometers.
And Consus actually picking up the
No,
5k.
yeah.
He's right on the range. So nice
Yeah.
for him.
Definitely striking back there by getting the right city in North Macedonia. And we jump on to a round in Ukraine with this red Google car. Summer coverage.
Not
And
much
they
else here though.
Both try to get good information. We have a good sign for Consus here,
Yeah.
saying maybe the span on the road where he is, the span
I
between
think
two
it says
cities.
Ternopil on one of the
Yeah.
signs, so he's definitely very close to it. And it says another town, which I don't know.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, but he...
He's looking for it.
Okay, Sheena plonked in the other town that is mentioned, but I think we're just on the road between those two, so...
Yeah, it could still be a bit further away from Ternopil, but shouldn't be very far away. It is not basically on the right road there, Consus.
Or again, and
Evening it out, it's pretty much almost same health here.
if we ever end a moving game on round limit, it is definitely this matchup, because I feel like they both take their time, so maybe they
Yeah.
both 5k all the rounds to come, and then we're left with nothing.
True.
Then it's a difference of
So-
5 health.
We are in Chile here.
Urban Chile, pretty hard for moving. You have to be very lucky to
Yes.
find a sign that says it. or maybe like a taxi that says the region at least.
Definitely, definitely. I remember a time where I tried to map out Chilean town names, and I was clicking around in every city, and it always took me so long to find a place name. In
It says
Chile, you don't see
Caucanes,
them
so he
too
found the town. It's
often.
pretty big.
Mhm.
Does he know where it is? I think it's slightly north of Concepcion. I think he should know it though. I can't see a zoom level though.
It sounds familiar to him, I would assume, because
He's very close.
is
He found
scanning
it.
for
He
it.
found
He
it.
has it now. Very last second there for Consus. Tell by the way he was hovering the map that sound familiar to him, so he was looking for it all over the place. Got lucky to find it there eventually, and we move on to a very rural European round.
I don't want to call out a country because I'm
Yeah, so
very
far
unsure.
it's not the easiest one to
I
make
thought
call
Italy or
out on.
Spain.
However, it's Gen 2, which rules it out pretty good. I like Spain with how flat it is all around.
Yeah, and oh, there's Gen 4. Maybe.
And it actually is.
What is it?
Now it's easier to call.
Oh,
Yeah, that's Italy.
Provincia di Grosseto. And they both found the sign.
So we are
Grosseto
probably
is-
somewhat coastal with how flat it is.
Grosseto is a very big town, so again,
Mhm.
both finding information, and we will go into the last round with a bit of a difference.
Yeah, Consul's going a bit more inland there. He's trying to work out the terrain on the map.
There is a road number, but they are very small because they're provincial roads.
Yeah, and he got to the right direction, picking up 200 points here. Again, not too much happening with both players being around Rossetto.
And now Sheena needs a big enough country. And Nigeria is not very good because I feel like the town name could be very visible. So he takes a chance and just guesses Benin.
Yeah.
I like it. Consus found a sign to Benin City, so this will be going to Consus this game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also
GG.
neat.
As I said, this game is one of them that I could see going to round limit, and yeah, Consus winning the game, having more health
Yeah.
left.
Not a very clear favorite in this game. It was really a back and forth, I would say.
Yeah, Consus very consistently. He
side,
made one
yeah.
mistake in Serbia, and that was pretty much it. Every other single round he found something, even knowing
Yeah, then
Germany.
Northern Ireland round. On
Oh, yeah,
the first round, he also had a small mistake there, but besides that, very, very consistent. And we move on to the no-move game, which looks like... What is it actually? Is
It's
it
Panama
new?
City.
Okay.
I think we just can't see the Google car, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't seen it on either side yet. But now you see it, yeah, it's a pretty white blur.
yeah, it looks very modern
It
for like
looks
Latin
urban.
America. So
Yeah, especially with this divided 4-laner, a lot of traffic on this road, so they both consider it being somewhere in the capital, trying to line up the road.
they're both on the same, like basically stretch. So
Mhm.
maybe they both 5K, I hope.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a railway, which is always good for confirming where you are.
Yep, they're both on it. Was it a railway?
It was a
looked
railway,
like it,
But
oh,
why is
okay.
there nothing mapped?
I thought it's a railway, and then I looked again and I didn't see it. And I wasn't sure. I didn't want to make a call out, but good thing you also thought it's a railway.
Okay, sure. It was a railway. Let's just say,
Okay,
let's pretend.
yeah, let's say it was.
And we're in the country of the
And
game
we are in
itself.
Sweden.
Yeah,
We
short
have short
dashes.
dashed lines. We have a significant mountain to the south, which you don't get in a lot of places in Sweden. Usually the areas along the border to Norway have bigger mountains, but also a bit in the northeast.
Looks
However,
western though.
Consus is making a hedge, I would say, between those two areas.
Yeah, there are some areas that are in this. Okay,
Yeah,
it's coastal.
because- yeah, it can, as I said, also be along the east a bit, where you get those random mountains. So, wise choice from both to not committing either side.
Okay, this time it's the UK.
Most
Not
definitely.
quite sure.
Most definitely.
Maybe the bin is readable. It usually has the district name or something.
Yeah, bins are very useful
It looks a bit
to
faded
gain
though.
information.
Both of them trying,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't look like it's helpful.
Also, we have a tag on this lamppost. I know there are some tags that are regional.
There's a
in the
castle there
UK.
that looks famous.
Looks famous.
Ooh,
I'm sure a lot of players from the UK community might recognize this one.
Scotland
I
is
have
pretty
to be
good.
sorry. I don't.
It's either Scotland or Northern England with
Mm-hmm.
overall hills. Never mind.
Nope.
Ignore me.
They both picked up the northern vibe, but was just pretty much almost.
You're only human after all. I
South.
mean,
And we are in Indonesia, and we are on the island of Sulawesi. With the amount of palm trees, with these poles, I thought. Actually,
I think
I
we
might be
are.
wrong.
I think we are just because of the pole.
Yeah, I can't get a good enough look on
The-
it. And why do we have tiled roofs?
I mean, it could just be.
Yeah, we shouldn't be.
It could be West Sumatra.
Yeah,
That's the other
more
place you get
likely.
these poles.
Yeah, and these. Mainly my thought was Sulawesi because of the palm trees, but you also get them in West Sumatra.
And they're both on the same stretch
Yeah.
again. And Consus.
Ooh,
5K.
7 meters in the 5k range. That is a very impressive 5k.
Yeah,
That
that
is-
road goes forever along
yeah.
the whole coast, so getting the right stretch of it,
That's
pretty
insane.
impressive.
We
Okay,
are in Argentina. Looks somewhat dry.
my first guess was La Pampa or something. Could be a bit more
However,
west.
the road angle isn't the most common one. I
Yeah.
like the Mendoza guess because I think I saw some Mendoza poles.
Oh, okay, I don't know those.
Yeah, it's the one where it's sticking out on one side with the insulator. At least it looks like one.
And
It's
Sheena
not very
thinks he has the 5K
complicated.
because he's
I mean, Sheena is very good at Argentina.
true.
Therefore, I would believe he does, and he does indeed.
And it's very close to La
And
Pampa, I'm
he's-
just saying that.
Striking back with the 5k. Just pretty much giving him an answer to the last round.
Damn, people
Saying,
are just
hey,
5K'ing left and right this
I cannot do.
this game.
We are in Quebec here.
Yeah, we have the
With the
Q on the pole. The Q stands for Quebec, thankfully enough. That was the question, which city do you go? Ottawa, Montreal?
Yeah.
Ottawa is
I
very
mean,
risky because
Ottawa
they're
is-
so far away
yeah,
from
it's
everything
on the
else.
Border, pretty much.
It could pay off, it could not pay off.
Yeah.
Could be very unlucky.
Looks like
It is
they're both
Montreal.
ending up in Montreal, and it indeed is just outside. And already in round 7 here.
Yeah, these players are very consistent, both of them. I mean, there's a reason the last game went to the round limit. No big mistakes on either end.
Not at all. This is an interesting location.
Okay, I'm not...
Have to make a good look here before I make a shout. I did not think... Oh, we have Mexican electricity.
Yeah, we have these pines, which are very common
But-
near CDMX. or
Yeah.
CDMX.
The houses just look so off for Mexico here.
I mean, what is your option here? I mean, you don't have anything
Yeah.
else.
I mean, by the houses, I thought Chile first, but
Yeah.
the further they looked around, I think it should be Mexico.
Sheena is in Durango. Durango also has very similar pines. It could be Durango, but the general... Oh, Chiapas. That is very risky. I
This
didn't think
is a
Chiapas.
very interesting guess.
I go CDMX here.
Yeah, they're very far apart
they're
from each
so
other.
far away. It
There's
could just be in the
definitely
middle.
something happening here.
Wow.
It was pretty far north, even further north than Sheena guessed, and that's enough for a game.
Thumbs up
Sheena's
from
striking
Sheena.
back. Yeah.
Showing he is not here to just, go down to Consus. He's here to play.
He is, and that's a draw. It's
well, it's
Going
not going to
over
be a
to
draw.
the NMPZ game now.
And an NPZ, I'm open for any result, really.
Yeah. Really, really hard to make a prediction here on this matchup, how the NMPZ game will turn out. And we start off in what looks like Spain?
I thought Spain, then I was kind of scared about Tunisia or something, but I think it's Spain.
It should be like southeast of Madrid is what I thought.
Yeah, usually these plantations are more of a
especially-
south and western thing, but I've never seen the soil combined with it, so...
Yeah, that's what I make my guess based off the soil combined with all the olive trees. Is something I see a lot in southeast Madrid.
Middle, pretty much.
Yeah, somewhere in the southern middle part.
Round 2.
We move on.
Very confident zoom in here. I am not sure what this is.
Yeah, I mean the pavement looks like Malaysia to me.
I wanna send
we
mainland
can
Malay
tell
here.
We are driving on the left side of the road.
That is
So
true.
we should really just consider those two countries here, Malaysia or Indonesia. However, you also have to decide, are you on Borneo or are you on mainland Malaysia?
He commits
Consus
Borneo.
is going for the Borneo guess.
For some reason I
Sheena
like
still
mainland,
unsure.
but
He's doing the hedge. He's doing the hedge.
it's okay. 1.5, he's still
swimming
safe.
in the water, fitting in with his whale avatar.
And it is mainland. And it's Northern Terengganu for the third time today, I think.
How many guesses does it take to get that one?
I mean,
I'm never
not 5K
guessing up
that.
there. No. No.
with these palm trees, they are very common in like the border between Santa Fe and Corrientes. And also very far north in like Formosa.
Do these qualify as lollipop palms?
Is that what you call them?
Maybe.
Some
Kind
people
of
just
look
call
like
them Paraguay trees.
Yeah.
But I like the road angle for that region.
Yeah. That's pretty far up there.
Could have been closer.
Again, they
in
both
Paraguay.
didn't commit. Playing it safe here.
Ooh, but can you play it safe on this one?
This looks very far east, right?
Ooh,
I almost want to guess like Khabarovsk or something here.
really? I was
To
somewhere
me
in the
it
middle.
looks very eastern.
To me, this looks like Perm or Yekaterinburg.
Very interesting.
And we have a northwestern.
We have a lot of birches in the
Yeah.
city.
Hmm.
Wait, is that snow laying around on the left? Is it Novosibirsk then?
I
With
don't think it's snow.
long antennas? No?
It's so green. Why would there be snow?
Okay.
Both players. I mean,
Yeah, that's
Sheena
a good
has made a
point.
guess down instantly, but Consus hasn't made a guess because he's very unsure.
Yeah,
Maybe he
this
just
is-
hedges the whole country.
Very difficult round.
And
I would
yes,
say
you called it.
that's pretty much
That
a
is perm.
5k from Ziggy.
That is perm. I don't know what about
Wow.
that makes it perm, but to me, that round looks like perm.
Good shout, good shout. That
But you,
was
you get lucky,
definitely
you know. Broken clock is right twice a day. That was the one time. We are gonna be in Colo with
So
that
we have
pole.
Here, yeah, it looks like Colombia. They
Looking
are both
north.
picking that up.
We could be looking at the ridge in the very north. That's where both of them guess, because the soil is very white, which makes you think more of the north.
Yeah, it looks like the mountain ridge is northeast of us. Looking at it, therefore,
Does Sheena commit there
This
though? Because
guesses-
if Consus just guesses the middle and Sheena guesses all the way north, then it's just over if it's not there. But
definitely,
Consus
I
is
mean,
ready to commit almost, and Sheena is just eyeing the north over and over.
they're probably looking for something that lines up with being in a city and having a ridge in the north.
Consus switching. Does he?
They are both not sure. That's a very committed guess from Sheena for being on 3x damage here.
Consus goes more north. And it was
It
north.
was indeed north.
Will that be enough?
However, that is not enough, and Consus is very, very unlucky there to make that switch, which leads to Sheena staying alive.
And not an easy round.
No, not at all.
Do we have information? Because
in
both of them
green
instantly
Peru.
zoomed in.
We have both in Pucallpa. I mean, it is green. It is Peru.
Wait, we have a switch. Puerto Maldonado.
Ooh.
Is it?
Maybe
Might
he's using
be.
the grid?
And
It was.
It was? I mean,
Wow.
wow.
What? What was there? Did he use the grid? Did he find something on the sign? Was it
gridded.
vibes?
I mean, he's Consus after all. Don't really have
Whatever it was the win for Consus. There.
Consus.
Very, very impressive stuff here, Ziggy. This was by far the most interesting match today, I would say.
I
do
agree,
you
just because it was so even in skill and both of them were really consistent. They made some blunders in a few big countries where there was just nothing to really go off, like the Russia round or the Mexico. They were not really sure, but the rest was very solid, even in NPZ. So
Yeah, definitely. I would say the mistakes, if you can call them mistakes, they made are also rounds where we didn't know what's going on. So really nothing that was clear here.
Yeah, we also have two other results
terms of the
coming in.
locations.
We have Blinky all the way needing to win the NMPZ game against Anu, and Saju taking 2-0 against Captain.
Interesting. Wow. Again,
Blinky.
Captain did take the 2-0 on the last game, and now he's giving it up 2-0 against Katsu.
We take a
These
look.
are the overall results.
I mean, some surprises, some not very surprising. Blinky at the top, but Feneb and Zigzag at the very top, needing both moving wins, so maybe in Zigzag's case a bit of a surprise, but in Feneb's case, not.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
obviously.
Zigzag, I've talked to him and he said this year or for this World Cup, he's not focusing too much on moving because he did that last year on the World Cup and he felt like it didn't pay off that much.
You have to
But
decide.
he still managed to learn a little bit of moving and apparently it was enough.
Yeah, you only have to jump as high as the bar is, you know?
Exactly.
If that is the bar.
And we got Australia on top here,
Yeah.
both
So,
first and second
Let's take a
place.
look what's happening later today. So we're gonna have an end of the stream. We're gonna take 4 hours break and the casters will be there. We will have Bloom and, well, Redacted.
And Peep.
And let's just say the first matchup is looking good.
Oh. RC versus Lanley first. Yeah,
Yeah.
you wanna be there on time for that one.
Yeah, I'm also looking very forward to RC against V89. Also going to be very close. And MK taking on Clement. Very similar playstyle players, I would say. So also going to be interesting to see that moving game. That's probably the most interesting part of that matchup. Just to see how they will approach it.
Definitely. We have a lot of very good matchups coming up later on for you guys. You don't want to miss out on any RC games. Rather see he makes some very, very unexpected 5Ks. That's what I know Rado C for. We have also players like Fao and Katsu, which you don't see playing too often in other competitions like smaller tournaments. I feel like, especially Fao, I don't see him playing that much anywhere. How
That's
about you?
what they say every year. But
Yeah, he's
yeah, we'll
really
see.
playing
but
for his own, so it's nice to see him play and watch him play later on. And yeah, I'm looking forward for that.
But that's gonna be it for us for this weekend. We're gonna be back next weekend, but obviously we're gonna have more action coming a bit later. But yeah, I think it's time to say goodbye for us. I hope you had fun and yeah, see you next weekend.
Yeah, thanks for watching. This was Gelouches for you and my buddy Ziggy. Hope you had fun. See you next week.